Welcome back to 365 Unlimited. This is episode 88. We take a couple weeks off, enjoy the holidays, get back from break. Gannon's back from school. I'm back from school, so being able to be back home has been nice. Catch up with the fam, the friends, enjoy the time off. It's been nice. It was a grind in the fall, but yeah, as you can see, we got another interview lined up. It's been a minute. It's been a long
Mhm.
time since we've been able to sit down with an athlete and chop it up, hear about his or her story, and kind of inspire the youth for a better tomorrow in the sports world. But before we dive into this guy's story right above us, Gronk spike that subscribe button for us. Continue to leave a like, leave a comment. We enjoy all the feedback we can possibly get. We appreciate the continued support. Our two sponsors, well, three now.
Yeah,
Three,
got a new sponsor.
yeah, additional sponsor, Driftless Quality Wear, Bocker Auto Group, and this past week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we picked up a sponsor, Not Vintage. That's KNOT, vintage.com. They sell graphic tees. We had a nice phone call with Joe, who is right now, he's a one-man show. He's doing this thing by himself, grinding it out of New York.
Former college athlete.
Former college football player, D3 football player. He's got graphic tees coming in and out, NFL players representing him. It's been dope to work with him from the start. So we also have our own graphic tee out there for sale. Check that out. You get 10% off at the checkout. 365U is the code. That's store wide, so that's any T-shirt. That's our T-shirt. They got NFL player graphic tees, rappers, uh, producers, everything you can
Britney
think
Spears. If you really want a Britney Spears one, they got one of those. So that's whatever your forte they got.
Yeah, so dive into that for sure. But as you can tell, we got an interview. So sitting right with us, Tyler Holte, former UW-Whitewatwer football player. I actually had the privilege of being able to kind of get an in-person look at his career this season, his senior season. So it was fascinating to kind of watch his senior year unfold, see what he's all about as a player on and off the field. But I'll let Gannon take this away right from the jump. Now let's get moving.
Yeah, first off, appreciate you, Tyler, for joining us. Just something we always reach out. First question: who is Tyler Holte? Kind of on and off the field as an individual, kind of more than just a football player. Kind of let everybody know kind of who we're talking to today.
Uh, uh, he's excuse me, sorry about my voice. But I'm always happy. I'm always, trying to be the light in the room, be the spark. Trying to just bring out the best in everybody that I'm around at all times. That's just the type of person I normally am. Always off the field, specifically, especially in my house with my roommates. I'm always, they always like to say I'm the funniest guy without trying. So I just always, like to have fun, make the best out of every situation, whatever it is.
I like that. I mean, making the best out of every situation. I mean, in general, as a football player or off the field, that's going to make you look like you're the positive person in other people's lives. People want to be around that. People gravitate towards that. So let's take this all the way back to high school football from the start. So you went to high school. You played football and baseball, is what I got out of it. I did a little background research on you, football, baseball. Your hometown, Elgin, Illinois. So talk a little bit about your high school football team and how that prepared you for college football.
Yeah, St. Edward Central Catholic High School. The normal school I would have went to would have been like South Elgin High School, with where the sports program was headed in direction of the education at the school. It just felt like a better fit. My older brother ended up going to St. Ed, so with him going there and playing his 4 years there and graduating, and then me coming in, it just felt like a good fit. And St. Ed's is a real small school. I graduated with a class like 75 total people in my class, graduating class. A real small school. You got to know everybody. Everybody, like whenever there was a new student, everybody knew who the new student was. There was never you didn't know who anybody was. But from the football side of it, I mean, St. Ed's was probably the best football program in the city of Elgin. Because there's like 5 schools, a good amount of schools in that. And I would say, we were playing 4A football, but we probably could have gave some of those bigger schools that were in 8A or 7A a good run for their money. St. Ed's, it was a great experience. especially on the football side of it. I loved everything. Some of my best friends, I still talk to them to this day. And I had a great coach, Coach Orlando. He just retired after this season. His oldest son graduated, and he decided to retire. But just the morals and everything I was taught while playing football, and just being a small school and always being underlooked whenever we competition, it kind of always gave me that edge, especially moving to college and not being the biggest guy. I always had to have that edge. Had to find something to get me over the top or just separate me from everyone else. So St. Ed's really helped me to form into that and have that mindset going into college.
Yeah. Just kind of sticking one more with the high school stuff, with baseball and football. We really emphasize that throughout the last couple of years with the episodes about multi-sport athletes, just the importance of it, and just, not even the athletic stuff, but just the off the field and being around different teammates and different guys. Kind of speak on that, just growing up, any other sports, just your outlook and, just playing everything instead of just focalizing on one, sport really.
I'm a type of guy, I just can't sit still. I can't ever just not do something. So I played baseball, basketball, and football all growing up. I played football or basketball in high school. I ended up breaking my leg my freshman year of football, so then I wasn't able to play the next season. And I kind of just decided not to. I still wish I would have played basketball. That eats me away that I didn't play basketball in high school. But just playing 3 sports, you got different types of people in all 3 sports. You got the people that play all 3, and you get to know them well. But then there's people that they just play basketball, or maybe they're a soccer player and they're playing basketball, or they're doing all these other things. So it's real nice. You get to meet a lot of different people. You get to see a lot of different people, and you get to compete in different types of ways. Not just tackling, not just catching football, scoring touchdowns. You get to drive to the bucket, get a bucket, hit a home run, do things like that. So it's just fun to just compete. I'm a competitor, and I've always loved to compete. So
100%. Yeah. I think one thing, like Gannon said, like we've harped on this with people that we've interviewed and just multi-sport athletes. It's certain skills too that you possess in a certain sport may help you with a different sport. So you're learning one thing in football that may translate into baseball, that may translate into basketball. So I think it is important for guys in the youth to understand. You can focus on one sport, and that's cool.
You'll get to one, but you're gonna 100%. Figure it out as you play through all of them, in my opinion.
100%. And I want to take this now. So like I said, I got to see you play at Whitewater this past year. So kind of talk to me about your decision to ultimately commit to play football at Whitewater. So heading into your freshman year, what factored into that decision, and why do you think Whitewater is a school that high school recruits should be checking out?
Yeah, I really wasn't talking to Whitewater too much. The reason that I started talking to him is my older brother. Coach Shields, Coach Shields here at Whitewater. He coached my older brother at Washington University in St. Louis on the D-line. After my brother's senior year, he came over to Whitewater, and he was a tight ends coach here. Now he's the O-line coach. But my older brother kind of just reached out to Coach Shields and said, maybe take a look at my little brother. He's kind of a baller. Like, he's playing well his senior year in high school. So, Coach Shields saw the film, and they reached out instantly. And I came to Whitewater, and right away, I met the coaches. Coaches were awesome. That was a big factor. It's exactly how coaches were on the recruiting visit. It was exactly how the coaches were when I got here my first day. So just the authenticity that they had, that I really liked that, and my parents really liked that too. And obviously the facilities, you see all the conference championships, you see all the national championships. That's that's the easy answer for anybody. They always win, or they got the best facilities. But honestly, it was just I just felt at home, man. I went on the visit. I told my dad when he got back in the car, I was like, dude, I'm going to school. Like, this is a school for me. It just felt at home. And I would just tell recruits, you got to find that place that you feel at home. Maybe it's, but I'm never going to be the person. I'm helping out with the football team this spring. So, I got to go out and recruit these guys, but I'm never going to be the person to say you have to come to Whitewater because we do. You got to find the school that fits you the best. Yeah, obviously we want you at Whitewater. We want you bad. We want these players bad. But if it's not the best fit for you, then you can't do it because it's a big decision. It's it's a life-changing decision. You go to college, possibly end up living in that state for, next 40 years or get a job out there. And, college it's a huge decision. So now I'm more than happy with my decision. I thought it was the best decision I've made in my life thus far. So.
No, that's sick. Just authenticity you said with the coaches from day one, like defining the home. I mean, you couldn't have cut that up in a minute or two and show that to high school athletes or just high school students looking to go to college right now, because that's exactly what they need to hear. But they don't usually hear that in that type of way from a lot of people. So I just thought that was dope. But I don't know, I can just tell already from like your personality and energy. And I know Bryce said it when we were talking about this for the episode, just like, you're not afraid to get in somebody's face, a DB, like let them know if you do something, snag a ball over them. Just kind of talk about that. Like that's obviously more on display even on football. Like it's really, an advantage for people, but just, dude, that's so much fun to be around. I'm a college baseball guy. Like you're around some of those dudes every day and they make it fun to show up even when the days aren't fun. So just talk about that, because it's not something you learn. You either have that type of trait or you don't.
And like, honestly, it really started heavy when I broke my leg my freshman year. I was, man, like, this can be gone in a second. All the sports, I love playing sports. Like I absolutely love sports. I think they do so much for people. They're able to teach you life lessons that you can't learn in anything else. So I just always, every practice I was giving 100%. I was like that in practice. I'm catching the ball on a DB, I'm letting him know just because that's fun, and I'm making a play, I'm throwing somebody out at first base in baseball. I'm dugout letting them know, like, we're here. It's just how I am, how I've always been. I've just always like to find that edge. I kind of like to get in people's heads when I'm playing. They don't like to be talked to, and I'm not degrading people or making them feel they're less of a person. I'm just letting them know that I'm here and I'm making plays on you all day, and that's not going to stop.
One thing before Bryce gets going, I want to build off that because I'm a Packers fan, and I don't know if people saw Jair Alexander last week after the Christmas game. Like his personality, like that stuff just fires me up when I hear that with people, because they're their personality and they go out there. And I think it's a maturity sign also, because you don't really care what other people are thinking, because you're showing up and doing what you're going to do every single day, and you don't really care. You're going to be yourself. And I think that's maturity. Like it's respect to you and just other athletes out here that they're just showing themselves on full display every day, and there's not a filter no matter what's going on. I think that's it's awesome. Agree. Like, and it's just what the sports world's trending to now with athletes, and I think it's just really dope.
No, I think just just having confidence in your personal.
Yeah.
You can do things. Even if people are saying you can, or people are telling you that you're not good enough for something, just having confidence in your own. Confidence in sports is one of the biggest things.
No, 100%. And I think like what Gannon said with Jair, I think another prime example of something like that is a guy like Jalen Ramsey. I mean, that's a guy who kind of like started that wave where it was like, I'm going to beat you physically, I'm going to beat you mentally, but at the same time, I'm a leader of this football team. So that kind of leads me into my question with it, is if there's coaches out there that wonder how a guy can be fiery, a guy can have swagger, but still be a leader, what would your answer be to that question? How can I be a leader, but how can I still be the guy to let a DB know I'm here? Like I'm here and you're not going to stop me, but how can I still be the leader of this football team at the same time?
Right. That's a great question. I think it's all about, going about it in the right way. Not, like I said before, not degrading people, not making them feel like lesser of a person, but letting them know that you're here. Like, exactly. And then, like your team, they see that. They see the confidence that you have, and they feed off that energy. And when you got a whole team full of just confident dudes, that's dangerous. I mean, that's tough to be stopped. And you're talking about Jalen Ramsey. I mean, that's a very confident guy who's very confident in his own abilities. Given he didn't make a Pro Bowl this year, but he's confident in his own abilities. He knows he's still top corner in the game. And his team sees that, and they support him. And it's the same thing, at Whitewater. Just the guys seeing it. They build off that energy. They see all, you're getting in someone's face. That's getting them hyped up, but you're not getting in that person's face because you want to fight them or something. You're just getting in their face, letting them know, like, our team's here. It's like almost like you're just leading the pack, showing the rest of the team, like, we're here and we're not backing down. I think that's
for sure. Before Gannon goes into his, I want to say on top, just to build one more thing on top of that, I will say one thing I noticed this year, just based on your personality on the field. I think the one thing that showed me, like, if I was a teammate of yours and I'm practicing with you every day, it's not only just the fiery and the swagger that you possess on the field, but you damn near you are the hardest practicer on that field. Like you show up to practice every single day, and you'll see yourself like you'll be on the sidelines, you'll be down, just chilling, but you are dead tired. Like you are out there 100%. Like I haven't seen someone practice that hard, and teammates look up to that, coaches see that, and that's something that translates into the game. And then when you see success on the game in the field, I think that's when you start to realize like, okay, this guy gets it, and that's something that not a lot of guys can do. Some people show up to practice and it's just, all right, we're gonna get a little better today. We'll see what happens in practice. But no, like you straight up took it to heart to get 1% better every single day, and you could see the passion in your game on the field in practice, and that was something that I admired watching you play throughout this season for sure.
You know, I always looked at practice as like that's the time that you spend the most amount of time playing your sport is in practice. I'm not gonna go out there and not give my all in practice. You're practicing all week, all fall camp for that game. You only got 10 guaranteed games. So, and how many practices? We got 5 practices a week. So that's a lot of practices. That's a lot more practices than you're playing. So the amount of time that you're going to get better is all going to happen in practice. I mean, you'll make adjustments in the game, but are you really going to be perfecting your craft? Are you really going to be really toning into the details on what you got to do to be the best player you can? No, because it's a game and you don't got time for that. You got to be ready already. So I always just looked at practices. You know, this is my time to really go to work and really become the best football player I can in practice. So that's why I gave my all. You know, I was dog tired, but I loved every second of it, man. I go back and have another practice at Whitewater in a second.
Thanks.
Kind of since when you jumped on the scene of Whitewater, newcomer of the year when you first showed up, just everything, it's Whitewater's allowed you to be yourself, and really just come to fruition over your years there. Kind of touch on the coaches, the program, facility, staff people, anyone that just really helped you grow along with the football and, the grind with the guys, but just some of the other stuff, that Whitewater that some people don't really know how really helped you grow as a man.
Coach Bolus first. Yeah, I mean, that man, he was, the epitome of a head football coach you want. He was a great leader, and he always, if you ever had anything going on, you could always go in his office. So he really helped me, become a better man and really turn into the man I am today. He was always there and he was hard on me, real hard on me. He would tell me how it is all the time, and so I respect and I got the utmost respect for Coach Bolus. I appreciate him and everything that he's done for me. And just some of the players, for example, like Ryan Wisniewski, I roomed with him my whole career here at Whitewater, and just seeing the dedication and how he went about it. Because when I came in as a freshman, he was our best player on the team. He was a sophomore. He was our best player on the team, and I looked up to him. I'm like, yeah, that's where I want to be. I want to be the best player on the team. So I followed him around everywhere. That's what I did. I followed him around. I just did everything that he did. We did everything together, and to this day, he's one of my best friends. So we grinded the last 2 summers before my sophomore year, before my junior year, for his junior year and his senior year. We were together every day in the summer, just doing everything together. We lived together. So just seeing how great he was and what he did and what he's still doing to this day, because he's still going strong. He's going out to Northern Arizona playing with the Wranglers in the IFL, I think it is, or IYFL. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's going out there. He's doing big things. So, Wiz for sure. He helped me a lot. So I'd say Coach Bolus and Wiz, those are two guys that, right from the start, they stuck out to me and helped me be the best I could be.
Oh, for sure. And I think as you kind of watch the trajectory of your career develop, you kind of started to see in your stats alone just the trending upwards. It continually got better and better as you grew into the system, grew into the offense. So I think that does speak towards the coaching staff, being able to find ways to put you in the game plan, being able to manipulate defensive backs into your skills. I think that was definitely – it translated from you having a good relationship with the coaching staff, and it translated into good success on the field. But you mentioned certain players, certain coaches. So what kind of teammate is Tyler Holte? On the field, off the field, what kind of guy are you as a teammate?
Type of teammate is I'm always gonna let somebody know when they're doing something wrong. I can't sit back and watch somebody do something wrong and not say anything. Like, someone else will get it, somebody else. I mean, even when I was a freshman and I would see things and I'd be like, hey, that's how, even off the field, I see things, like, that's not how we're doing things. That's not the Warhawk way. That's not the way we're going. But I feel specifically like, I saw somebody in something in the route, it wasn't the way it was. I was right there. And I was telling them in a way like, this is what we got. This is what you got to do. And trust me, you do this, like, you're going to be open. Like, that's going to work. So, I just really always took it every practice. I made sure, I didn't just focus on one guy, but I found a guy every practice. I wanted to, really try to help get better today. Obviously, I'm focusing on myself too, trying to be the best I can. But I always wanted to find, another player that, maybe wasn't getting the attention they thought they wanted from the coaches or something like that. So, being a leader on the team, I wanted to help them out. And so, type of teammate that Holte is I'm gonna tell you how it is always.
Hell yeah. Well, and it just breeds that because it only takes one person then to see that and be like, okay, well, now he's doing that to me. I'm going to do it to somebody else. A chain reaction. Or they'll come back to you and it'll be vice versa. And then they'll hold you accountable another day. And when you needed it. And I think that's the cool thing about it. You just can feel the energy and a roar off somebody when they do that. But so you graduated, you're going to help out with the football team coming up this spring, but you also got some more future plans with football coming up. Kind of describe that. I know you just got invited to the College Gridiron Small College Showcase coming up. Just kind of talk about all that with your plans coming up and just, your grind process coming up.
I've been grinding from the moment the season ended. I've been working. I had a little bit of a little hiccup with my knee. I don't know if you know, Bryce, I was a little different with my knee. But it's all good now. I just been grinding. And thankfully, I was sitting on the wait list for that CGS. I didn't have production this year. We didn't go as far as, we had hoped. So I was sitting on the wait list and, woke up one day and I got an invite and I was ecstatic. It's a credit to all the people that, believe in me, trust me, because I know it wasn't all just me. There's people out there that were helping me out, saying good things about me to help me to get into that game. So, I'm just going to take that game look at that as a great opportunity, and I'm going to go work as hard as I can and, try to take as many reps as I can and show those coaches, show those scouts that, I'm here to play. And, hopefully, because the small school showcases, it's the first 2 days, it's the 6th through the 8th, and then the bigger one is the 8th through the 10th. So hopefully, my plan is to, work as hard as I can, play as well as I can, hopefully get asked to stay for that bigger one. So that's what I got going on in the next, that's in a week. I'm leaving. I'll be there in a week from today.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
but I'm going out. I'm going to go do the Northwestern Pro Day. I'm going to go run a couple 40s there. And if my 40 times are good enough, they'll ask me to stick around and do the rest of the Pro Day. So, as soon as I get back from Texas, I'm going to hit up Next Level where I trained in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I trained there all the last 2 summers. And they got a great trainer. Brad Arnett, he's a heck of a trainer. He's helped me turn me into a great athlete the last 2 years. And he's trained a lot of professional athletes. So just going there, work my butt off for 2 months after that, and then hopefully be ready for pro day and run as fast as I can.
For sure, 100%. So I seen when I was doing some research on you, background information, I saw you did an interview with it was something, the Draft Diamonds or some draft. There was some draft network that you did an interview with, and I was reading part of it, and one thing kind of stuck out to me, just based on the fiery attitude and the swagger that we've talked about already. One thing that did stick out to me was you talk about how you've always had the chip on your shoulder. You've always been a guy who's proved people wrong. You've always been underlooked, undervalued, and then all of a sudden you prove your worth. You show who you are as a player, as a person, and people stick to that. It's like glue. It's contagious. So if there's an NFL scout that's out there and wants to know how is Tyler Holte undervalued and how does he prove his worth, how do you do it? How do you go from being the guy who could end up being 6th or 7th on the depth chart, but suddenly rises all the way to the top and you're the number one guy? How do you do that? And that's advice to the youth too. A kid at the lower level that wants to find a way to get up there. How do you do it?
You just work every single day, man. You just literally, that's cliche answer, I know, but you just literally go to work every day. You put your head down and you grind. Like, that's what I did. I told people when I was a freshman in high school, I said, listen, I'm gonna try to go to the league. Like, I'm going to the league. That's what I'm doing. And I'm not there yet. I got a lot of work to do, 100%. But I put that work in every day because people are like, no, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. Like, there's no way that's going to happen. And I put the work in every single day to give myself a chance to possibly do that. So to the youth, man, like, it's just all about not listening to what other people say, not listening to the outside stuff, going to work and believing in yourself. Like we talked about earlier, like having that confidence, just having confidence in your ability. So, to an NFL scout, what's going to drive me? It's confidence in my own ability. I know the type of player I am. I know the type of player I can be. And I know that I have a lot more to reach. Like, I have a lot more to get better at the sport of football. So, I don't even think I've tapped into my full potential. I think I gave a good glimpse in my last 2 seasons at Whitewater, but I think I got a lot more to show, and I still got a lot more to prove.
I think the good thing is for the youth is to listen to everything Tyler's specifically saying. I mean, because he's literally putting it on full display here of it being in motion right now through his career and now ultimately trying to reach and get to those goals. And I think that's the cool thing. But what you said earlier about, you got a lot of help to get down to this CGS bowl game. But I think it's a different way to look at it. I think you put yourself in that position to get to that bowl game with your personality and everybody else, taking calls and speaking good stuff about you, because it's your personality. I can hear it from Bryce, and just hearing this stuff when we're talking about it here, that's just props to you and just everything you got going, because otherwise it's just tough. But you're finding a way to do it, and it's kudos to you, because like you were trying to put it off, the coaches, blah blah blah, but no, like you put that hard work in. If it wasn't for your hard work and your personality, then the coaches wouldn't, went out on a leg for you. So I want to say congrats to you for that.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot.
I think another thing I caught from that interview you did, you said, like, we'll switch it up a little bit. So you said you were a Bears fan growing up.
I'm still a Bears fan, man.
Still a Bears.
That was a really sad laugh, right?
Hey, but at least you're getting Justin Fields is growing into that QB spot finally, and they just got to get him some help. But just talk about growing up and watching teams like the Bears or watching players. Who did you kind of not necessarily model your game around, but who are some guys that you kind of idolized, watched growing up, and tried to learn from, specifically at the receiver position, that you'd look at and be like, okay, this guy, he's got press coverage here, his get off the line, how is he getting off the line? How can I use some of his angles, some of his techniques to become better?
For sure. Well, growing up, my all-time favorite player was LaDainian Tomlinson. I love watching him play. So I know he's not a receiver. I just have to throw that in there like that. I love watching him play. I got all his spikes. I'd always do his touchdown dance, or he did a little. But yeah, I watched a lot of Wes Welker, a lot of Julian Edelman, because those are guys that they play the game the same way as me, similar. I play the game the same way as them, because that's who I watched, and they put a good example on. But recently, I've been watching, Cooper Kupp his last year. I mean, he's just found a way to, get a lot of yards after the catch. Mm-hmm. And that's on, once you catch the ball, and a lot of people can catch the ball, a lot of people can get that ball, but what can you do once you got the ball in your hands? Watching him and just how smooth he is, like, it'll look like he's not making a move, but then the dude's flying past him and he's just down the sideline. So I watched a lot of Cooper Kupp. Obviously I watched the big guys, like, I watched Keenan Allen, I watched Stephon Diggs. I watched Justin Jefferson a lot, because he's been balling, especially I've been looking into him a lot. Like, I watched a lot of him and Jamar when they were at LSU. Mm-hmm. I actually, before one of our games, before our Oshkosh game, I sent to Stephen Hine, I sent him the highlight video of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I said, we got to put on a show tonight. Like, we got to be like these two. Yeah. So, I like those. They bring a lot of swag to the game. It's like kind of like that new generation of football that's coming. So, yeah, I got a lot of players I love to watch. I just love to watch good football. Love to watch guys that, play their heart out, aren't going through the motions, that just give it all every single day and just give it every single time they're on that field. You could just tell that they are going all out.
So what's the next move for the Bears? What are the Bears going to do next season here? What's the offseason predictions? What are some hot takes for the Bears? Because you guys need some help, You got some pieces though. I will give you that. Poles has made some good moves since he's gotten the job. They're looking more in the right direction. Being a Packers fan, but still, I'll say that.
Yeah, Bears got to they got to with this draft pick. I'm thinking maybe trade it for a little bit of a lower draft pick, like something like eight-ish. Try to get a trade there and possibly get a receiver from one of those teams. I saw something where excuse me. I saw something where it said the Bears were going to trade their pick to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati was going to give them T. Higgins for a couple picks. But I think they got to get a few more picks out of that.
Yeah.
They got the number 2 pick as of right now, and they don't need a quarterback.
No.
Because we got. So, do they want to take? I saw they were looking into the D lineman from Georgia. That's a good pick. I mean, that guy's a stud. They're saying he's like the highest graded DT in the last 20 years. So, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad pick, but I also think that's a little too high for him to get picked. I think if
there's great value with that number 2 pick.
I think if they could trade that number 2 and get some for it, get another pick and then a nice receiver for it, I think that would be good. The only reason I like the Cincinnati trade that I saw a lot, but Cincinnati's got the 28th pick, and I don't want the Bears to go from 2 to 28 just to get T. Higgins.
That's a good point.
T. Higgins is a stud. He would change the Bears' offense instantly, but the Bears got a lot more other pieces that they need than just receiver. They need some.
They could use a top 10 lineman to protect Fields also.
They could hit all day. It'd be tough to be a GM. I'll tell you that.
Oh, incredibly tough. I mean, you'd be sitting there looking. I mean, I can't even imagine the anxiety levels of just being on the clock or the off-season moves or the money in general.
Well, the Bears now are moving out to Arlington Heights and getting all that new stuff, getting situated for the next couple of years with the whole new stadium. So that's more. Yeah. So it's more business stuff on top of it. Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'd say.
Everything.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Every decision that the GMs make, man, it's all looked at as, if you made a great decision, everybody's like, yeah, we love him. But you make a bad decision, they're like, get this guy out of here.
Oh, yeah. It's all the bad ones they talk about.
No, 100%. You do one thing wrong and you're looked at as the bad guy getting run out of town instantly. But I want to kind of wrap this up with a statement and then one last question. And then I'll let Gannon throw in anything that he's got at the end. But first off, as a statement, I want to say, if there's one thing I noticed big time from your game specifically, who you are as a receiver, is if you're lined up one-to-one press coverage, more often than not, you're going to beat the guy one-on-one. Your get off the line is something that I haven't been able to see from a lot of players, especially at the D3 level, being able to get off the line like you do, create separation, one-on-one, give room for your quarterback to throw. It always seemed like you had a yard, you had a step on a guy, where you were able to go up and make a contested catch. Because that's one thing. A lot of guys are going to look at you and be like, okay, this guy, not too tall, not too big, but guess what? I'll tell you firsthand right now, this guy will make the contested catch. He can go up, make that grab. He'll beat you with his legs, beat you with his hands. I mean, it's a well-rounded game. More specifically, I think when you look at the mentals, it's all there. So I was fascinated to watch all that, being able to envision it. It inspired me. I know I played football in high school. I had some places to go in college, ultimately chose college baseball. But, dude, I when I watch you play, I get that itch to be like you inspire kids, you inspire adults, you inspire people that used to play the game in general just to be like, damn, I miss it. I want to go back out there and have that attitude. You got it. But I think my last question I want to wrap up with is what's some advice to a kid who's underlooked? What's advice to Gannon and I chasing a dream? What's just some advice on anyone chasing a dream?
Keep going, man. Don't ever stop. You got a dream. You got to, because I actually listened to a great song. It said, if you got a dream, chase it. And it's that country song. I forget the name of it, but if you got a dream, chase it, man, because you might not ever get a chance to chase it again. This is the time in your life. You're chasing your dreams. So just go after it. That's why I'm putting my all into this football, trying to keep playing because, I'm young and I got my whole life ahead of me. If it doesn't work out, I'm 26, 27 years old, and so be it. I got my whole life ahead of me. So you guys are young. You know, you got young kids in high school. Like, you got a dream. You just got to go chase it, man, because you never know when you're not going to be able to chase that dream. What could happen? You know, everything. There's so many things in life that could happen. You know, so many different things that go on in life, and you don't want to sit back and regret not being able to chase your dream because something happened and you decided to go a different route or something. So just keep chasing it, man, because you guys are doing great things. I mean, this is sweet. More than happy to be on this podcast. Like, this is sweet for real.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate that. And I mean, the biggest thing you said, you're 26, 27, you look back and you don't want to have any regrets. Regardless of whatever happened with your athletics and school, just you don't want to ever look back on anything and just have regret. And I think that's the biggest thing you said. You know, an 815 legend from our area is Fred VanVleet. Bet on yourself, undersized with the NBA, his whole story. I mean, that's just literally what comes to my mind with you. You bet on yourself every single time, and you've been cashing in right now. So best of luck with you going forward. It's been really cool to create this, relationship here today, get to chop it up and just hear your story. It's another athlete that we like to hear, and it's just another hidden gem. And the cool part is you're just really tapping into it. And I think that's what you're just noticing, and everybody else around you in your environment is you're just now breaking the ice. And I think that's the cool part. But best of luck going forward, man. Best of luck with success, making a team, the showcase. We'll be staying in touch with you and, just following you. Best of luck. Appreciate you for hopping on.
Thank you guys so much, man. Keep going. Keep going. This is sweet. Keep going.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Continue to tap in. Follow Tyler Holte on social media. It'll be linked in the bio, in the description. We appreciate you guys tapping in.
Appreciate it. Catch you guys, man.